Welcome back to another Candy Compass Candy exploration. I'm here today on Roy's Peak. It sits just a little bit above 1,500 meters above sea level, and normally you can see a lake out there, but instead we got clouds. Just as beautiful. We love it. And I wanted to look at a New Zealand classic up here. This is a pretty popular walk. A lot of people take it. It's a little bit emptier in the winter, and you get some beautiful snow-capped mountains though. So I thought I would look at Whittaker's. What does it have to do with snow-capped mountains? Really nothing. But today I'm looking at Whittaker's Hawke's Bay Black Dorris Plum and Roasted Almonds in dark chocolate. It's 50% cocoa, so not the darkest chocolate, but not milk chocolate. Whittaker's is an absolute staple in New Zealand. Everybody raves about it. Everybody eats it. People leave New Zealand and ask for people to send it back to them. This is a huge chocolate candy company here. And they have all sorts of different chocolates. They have a regular milk chocolate. They have a regular dark chocolate. I want to go with this one because it looked unique. I hadn't tried it before. Almond is good. Plum is interesting. And Hawke's Bay, a popular location here in New Zealand too, and I haven't had their plums, so might as well introduce myself through some chocolate. So they come in squares. There's about 10 of them in each bar, in the thin bars. They say Whittaker's on them, and right off the bat, you get the texture of that almond crunch. A good toasted almond, nothing wrong with that. And then that plum, really interesting and unique flavor in candy that I haven't tried before. When it comes to a chocolate bar, if you're not doing just milk chocolate and shooting for the milk chocolate demographic, you need to find a way to differentiate yourself. And I think this plum is a really cool way to do that. It gives that nice kind of grapey, berry tones that you often see with dark chocolates, but it does it a little bit sweeter, and that plum flavor is a nice, new, unique way to do it. I like it a lot. The almond, I like nuts in my chocolate. It gives it a bit more of a bite, a bit more of a crunch. And especially with a dark chocolate, sometimes I can be overwhelmed by just that really heavy cocoa flavor. So I think the almond and the plum do a really good job to soften that. Now, it has a good crunch. It's not too soft. It's not too brittle. I think there's probably people out there who would say it needs more cocoa. This is a weird halfway point between dark chocolate and a milkier chocolate. I say chill out. Eat what you like. And I like the 50%. It's a good hearty chocolate with still a little bit of sweetness. When it comes to Whittaker's, I also really appreciate their packaging. Not the most important part of candy, but when you think about Cadbury and you think about Hershey, what's boringer than the outside of a Hershey's bar? It's so ubiquitous, and it has that Hershey font, which they get away with, and Cadbury has that classic purple. But each of the Whittaker's is really a piece of art, and I think that when you're working with a high-quality chocolate like this, that adds to it. It shows, a little bit of pride in your chocolate, which is important. Overall, it's a good chocolate bar. The only things I would change about it are the plums are clearly a dried plum. And that texture of the plum isn't always what I'm looking for when I hear about fruit in a chocolate bar. I want something a little bit softer, a little bit chewier, a little bit squishier in the chocolate bar. And you're really just getting a dried, almost chalky plum, which I don't think is great. And then also, they could probably do a little bit more of the plum. The plum is what attracted me to this, and you definitely get that flavor, but it's kind of a smooth pushing of the chocolate with the plum rather than a plum taste itself. You have the hints of the plum without being overwhelmed by the plum, but there's still some space in between there where you could up your plum and it wouldn't be overwhelming the chocolate or the almond for that matter. So I think if they were to do that, this would take the plum bar really to the next level. But I like it. I'm happy that I'm enjoying it here on the top of Roy's Peak. There's some beautiful snow, beautiful sun. It's nice to pop your head out over those clouds and know that you have a chocolate bar waiting for you at the top. This has been a Candy Compass Candy exploration of the Whittakers, Hawke's Bay, Black Dorris Plum, and Roasted Almond, and Dark Chocolate on the top of beautiful Roy's Peak on a great winter day just outside of Wanaka, New Zealand. Eat some candy, brush your teeth. We'll see you next time.